Hello and welcome everybody out there in YouTube and D&D land. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Before we jump into the action, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All of those things help us out tremendously. If you're interested in supporting our community a little bit further, consider becoming a member here on our YouTube channel. Memberships start at just $2 a month, and you gain access to some really cool emotes. In addition to all of that, if you are interested in playing in any of our games, we have open slots available in the Friday early game. We also need only one more person to fire off that game. So yeah, if you're interested, come on in. Let me know that you're interested. We also have an open slot in our epic level campaign for our Friday evening. That's going to be a lot of fun as well. That one is a bit more expensive than the other games, but you get to experience something that is rarely ever experienced in the realm of D&D, playing through level 20 and beyond. We have level 21 characters coming very soon, and a lot of options for people to play that, and it's going to be, well, a lot of fun, I think. I think that's going to be all my shameless self-promoting, though, so go ahead, Kat, tell us what happened last session.
So last time we had a little bit of downtime and recovery from toppling the Spalding kingdom and the corruption that existed within it. So kind of settling things as we go. Bartakov first wanted to research the devil that Nanu wanted demoted, the one that he made a deal to do so. That devil's name is Baltharion, the Sinuous Deceiver. So they are a bit of a trickster, and they use their androgyny to their advantage in manipulating people and putting people in uncomfortable situations. And then they are able to travel to different planes at night, and also while that plane is in celebration, but must leave when it winds down. They are capable of disguises and creating darkness, and so that gives him an edge in trying to go find this devil. He also decided to research into Jublex, his patron, and was able to find that it's a creature of pure chaos. That their slime cultists promote the essence of chaos, and that his realm is just full of slime pits. And Jublex carries has to have a vessel because of his appearance, and being so shocking, he has to inhabit a vessel in order to exist in this plane. He, being an essence of chaos, he must consume everything, and he has no known allies. The most recent of which was the one who betrayed him and was in the crystal, going after the Shadow Pact. He's also fond of amorphous creatures who exist on the fringes of society. But because of his chaotic nature, his own followers tend to betray each other as they compete. It's kind of like a very crabs in a bucket kind of situation. And he also found out that the Asmodeus Church knows that he is a beneficiary of Jublex's power. In the meantime, he also tries to set himself up as the head of the Halfling Hit Squad, which goes very poorly for him. He tries to help them hunt down the rest of the Spaldings, but gets caught, and he gets arrested. And Kat has to bail him out. But once he's out, he decides to go and look for magical items to replace the spear that will eventually be destroyed, and finds a really nice hammer that he's going to now use as his as a backup weapon. Meanwhile, Glenn, during his downtime, takes does some service in trying to help rebuild the city. And at the end of doing so, he is able to strike a deal with those in power to have, as part of the new building projects that people are learning how to build and giving skills to the disadvantaged, that they are building a Church of Monkey. It will take some time to build, but it's a way to both empower those who are working on it and create a space for understanding with the disadvantage of the city. And so then he takes some time to research the Blaterra Academy and his ancestor, Eldon Glenstride. Through his research, he finds a series of like children's books, like adolescence books, and is able to discover that during while it was in existence, a former headmaster's experiment went wrong and caused the academy to break into pieces and be disseminated throughout the entire land. Over time, many adventurers have gathered to find out what had happened, mostly former students. The author of that series is Eldon Glenstride. The series came to an abrupt end 6 years ago after being written over a period of about 80 years. So the Balara Coast itself had been settled about 60 years ago. So the writing of the book series tended to overlap the first settlement on the coast. The last book hadn't been written, and in it is expecting a key moment that the overall guardian is missing, who would take them back to their academy. So that is an event that is anticipated. The experiment was tied to the rift, which was linked to the abyss. So the academy is tied to the abyss and the material plane because of the link with the experiment. So there is several locations, including a tree taller than any mountain and in the Crosslands, that where it would be possible to find elements of the academy. He also then looked for a magical weapon and was able to find it. Meanwhile, Monkey did his own thing. The rest of the party is not entirely sure what he was up to, but it did end with him trying to independently reach a certain critical mass to be able to independently have his followers grow the Church of Monkey, which is something he is working on, but has not quite yet achieved. In the meantime, also copied spells from the Archmage that was defeated and identified the goods from them. I also realized that we didn't identify his robes, so she would have done that as well. Meanwhile, she decided to research what it would take to break a demon contract. 2 ways. One, to have a more powerful deity take over the contract. So, say if she were to help Lyra ascend, Lyra could in turn take over his contract. And the second way would be to uncover the demon's true name and could force it to do anything. But however, it makes her a very, very important target and to that particular deity. Second, she helps establish a government in Spalding, more democratic in nature, with representatives over several different new government purposes. So she has she starts a trade school program with a cleric of Lyra named Serafina Evergaze overseeing that. Through negotiation, Reese is able to have Rossman, a cleric to the Church of Asmodeus, take over the wages and finance. We have Jerome, who is a victim of police brutality, and also a victim of mob brutality, take over the guard system reform. A former ally of ours, or traveling companion, I should say, Kel Tasso, is in charge of the public healthcare, and he is a cleric of Ayun. We have asked Cade, the Valen representative, to take over the management of the guard system. For public works, we have had a follower of Monkey take over that, and we have left a spot open for the Parks and Recreation to be elected by the people of Spalding. She spent several weeks doing that, and also helping Dovina meet her people in disguise so that she could see them person to person instead of being treated as their queen. Also, in her downtime, she went to try and find the threefold representative, and found their body in a chest in the bottom of the lake. They had been sniffed out and murdered by the Spaldings, and therefore was unable to enact any sort of oversight. She then also helps Reese, also helps Glenn in understanding the Platera Academy. She researches it through the non-fiction side. It seemed that 400 to 500 years ago, there was something about terrain and objects falling from the sky and undead creatures emerging from it, one of which is a place in the Fukai Lake. It seems that everything is so deep that it's unsure how even creatures are surviving down there, or able to escape it. The other is a mountainous tree east of the Crosslands, and there was another location more in the north.
I want to pause you right there just because this is the young adult titles, by the way, for the books that he has discovered. But yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
And short summaries of each one, because it's written on the back for all young adult books.
God, I miss summaries. And not just reviews.
Yeah.
Okay.
What the fuck am I getting into?
Right, like, I want to know the story. I don't want to know that it was highly reviewed by this one person. I don't care.
Yeah.
That aside, that's a whole rant by itself.
Yeah.
Reese, during his downtime, decides to have some carousing with Rossman and earned a higher approving from her. He also researches how to combat and remove the ooze. It turns out that when someone is oozed, their spirit is gone. So it's very difficult to try and restore them to who they were. He then also takes some time to research the extra relation mentioned during the fight. And because he, for all he knew, only had one child. However, it turns out that he has another that was conceived between when his first wife died and before he met his second wife. I believe the mother's name was Vale Moonfire, and she was a more chaotic kind of person, didn't spend a lot of time in one place, and that there was an abrupt ending to their relationship. And he wasn't seen as a proper match to her. And then, surprisingly, in a surprising move, he also created a rehabilitation facility to try and rehabilitate other Spaldings, other people of note from their more corrupt ways, but does so in the name of Lyra. In the empty house that happened to be Joshi Spalding's. So they are being rehabilitated in the place of one of their worst atrocities. He then has an interest in going to casino in search of the desert hag. So he and Kat trade the knowledge of the teleportation circle for Reese's help in managing Bartikov's actions. And kind of keeping him from winning the race. And it wasn't only purely transactional either. Reese does have a little bit of animosity or for Bartikov stealing his revenge against Spaulding by turning him into an ooze. So while in casino, he finds the desert hag, and it turns out that it is Mama Vusi, and she and Samdi are just hanging out. So he had a lot closer connection to her than he thought. She inserts the Beholder eye stalk that contains the innervation spell for him. And he's able to change his appearance so he appears normal, even though the eye itself, if you could see through the illusion, looks very strange on him. And while he's there, he finishes his time by carousing the hierarchy of casino, meeting Shinari soon, Tilt Lakudra, and Gatash. Meanwhile, Samdi does some time working with the other followers of Mama Vusi, and then spends a few weeks of high-stakes gambling. But because he is known to be a very talented gambler, he attracts the best players and does not turn the kind of profit that he would have liked to have seen because of that stiff competition. And that was our downtime.
So, little reminder for me, everybody. Kat, where were you during your last week?
I was in Spalding. I was doing going between the different trade unions and trade programs. Kind of trying to spread Lero's word, doing the favors for the church.
All right, and Bart, who just AFK'd. Reese.
I was carousing last week in Spalding.
Okay, Bart.
For the last week, I believe the entire time I was in Alona trying to find that magic weapon.
In Alona. Samdi.
Gambling.
Gambling, yes. Alrighty, so...
Also, I was subtly planning an intervention for Sandy, apparently.
Bart. As you are going about your business here in Alona, you watch as 3 individuals wandering through the streets, talking to people, are pointed directly in your direction. The individuals you notice as Ludency. These are the protectors, the keepers of Alona itself. They are not the guard force, because guard force has a very negative connotation. People have very varied opinions when it comes to being called a guard. Most of the time they see you as hostile, or they can sometimes just believe in brutality, when the purpose of this law enforcement here is to enforce the law for everybody, but also to protect the people. 2 of them are completely plaided in breastplate armor with their shields already equipped to their arms and weapons stowed away. And the third one, as these units seem to walk around together, appears to be some type of magic craftsman, though you can't discern specifically. I mean, magic casters all look the same. Ostentatious outfits, no armor, tattoos, they're all kind of the same.
Like squishy weakling.
Yes. As the 3 of them are very clearly approaching over towards you, the caster in the back, Bartikov.
Who's asking?
My name is Misha. Ladova. of the Ludency organization.
Okay, sure. You have found me. What is it I can do for you?
The councils would like you and your companions to meet with them in this afternoon.
Sure. Where are we meeting? Where would we be meeting?
You'll be meeting over at the council chambers, and they gesture back away from themselves over towards this magnificently large mansion. It is taller than any building you've ever seen, about as wide as the Spalding estate itself. It is made out of ivory-colored stone. It is needlessly large.
One noble house to another. Sure.
You all have made quite a word, or quite a statement in a couple of cities within Balera itself. We would just like to have a official sit-down conversation with you.
Sure. Let me contact everyone and let them know, and we'll gather.
Yes. Where are your companions, by the way?
Probably mostly in Spalding. Some would be, I think, one or two are here. I don't actually know.
Very well,
We're off
then
doing
shall we
some
go
personal
teleport and
errands
get
at the
them?
moment. Well, give me 1 second. And he'll, bring up the earring and just hey.
It's not
I've got some...
infinite distance, it's 1 mile.
Is it 1 mile?
It's
Oh,
1 mile.
lame.
Yeah. What the fuck?
The user you're trying to reach right now is not.
Just
He's back
static.
I mean, would anyone be with him? No, probably not.
No one else will be in the city, are they? So,
We just asked. Everyone's everywhere else.
I have a
well,
hole.
they're not within a mile, so probably Spalding, yes.
Very well. Shall we take off and go get them?
Sure. Why not?
Alrighty. I
We should
presume
also
you
really
are.
think about renaming that city. Has a
Spalding.
bad taste now.
You will speak to the Balera representative, the Alona representative, about that, if you will. Alrighty. You're familiar with teleportation, correct? Keep your mouth shut while we are moving. Very good. And he will twist this weave of magic that shows as a golden ring that emanates and then swirls around you and the other two, and bloop, you arrive within Spalding. Only a few hundred feet from the main castle itself, as you begin tracking down all of your allies. And he's okay again.
He's simping. Don't mind him.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
It happens.
Yeah, but we're getting to the part where you talk to them. Yeah,
Also, you're muted, so
go do what you're doing, and we'll get back to you here in a second.
Good. Was just letting someone in through my window.
Perfect.
we could not get that part.
I love it.
So,
Wait, did he say window?
yes,
Yeah,
you.
my basement flat. Anyway. Yeah, Lily's coming in through the window. It's easier.
I have a name now. That's nice.
Not just somebody. Anyways, as you are traveling through the city, you first discover Kat. Kat, you see Bart walking over towards you, flanked by 3 Ludency members. Muted.
Have you been arrested again?
Funnily enough, not this time.
That's surprising.
Apparently, we've made a bit of a name for ourselves, and the Council of Alona would like to speak with us.
Or would they? I'm going to guess that you are representatives of such council?
I would not be classified as a representative. I am just somebody here to assist with gathering you all up for this meeting that they are having. Of course, if you have any affairs you need to finish, I recommend that you get them done post-haste so that, well, we can be there before the evening's out.
And I'm going to guess that you are going to teleport us there, or should we find the means ourselves?
I will be teleporting everybody, yes.
Perfect. I will.
Consider me your magical chauffeur.
Very convenient. It is nice to make your acquaintance.
Yes. Misha. Pleasure.
Ah. That will be an easy name to remember.
Really? Why? Usually people don't get... Well, I guess where you guys are from, that is very common name.
Not common, but more common than here. I just have to speak with the queen about a few things, and then I will be ready.
Very well. Where would we find Rasan, Samdi? The other two we don't particularly need.
Oh, that's surprising. I believe both are in casino.
Reese is in city.
Yeah,
Or
I have
in city.
hours.
He has office hours.
Reese is in Spalding itself, most likely in his own office. And Samti, the last I heard was in casino.
Very well. Barchikov, would you be able to escort us over towards Rasan's offices?
Sure. And now that we're within range, I will ping on the earring to let Reese know that
Cops
we're
are coming.
coming. Yeah. Coming to the house with cops. Hide anything illegal.
His office.
I would reply,
office,
I'm not
sorry.
at the house. Oh, okay.
Just
Uh,
the entire office building fucking folds in on itself.
Well, I'm with the client, but yeah, I could squeeze you in like 20 minutes. How far are you?
About a 20-minute walk.
We'll walk over.
Okay. I'm working with a fish market man right now.
Yes.
Just don't have his heart in your hand when we turn up.
No. Just his soul. No, I'm just kidding.
20 minutes go by, and as the fish market man is walking out, good day, Rasan.
Yeah. Oh, letting you know, in like about 2 to 7 days, that fortune should kick in.
Very good. Thank you. We
Okay.
definitely need more fish in the city. And he
Yes,
just
yes.
do. And you see Bart standing there with 3 ludency.
Did you get arrested again?
Why is everyone... No. Fuck you.
Your bail letter came to my house. Okay. I'm associated with criminals now because of you.
Oh, like that's any
Now.
different from usual.
Hello.
Yeah, you're right.
My name is Misha. I will be your magical chauffeur. The Council of Alona would like to speak with you and your companions.
Did
This
Cat
evening.
wish extra hard for her spider to become a person?
I'm sorry?
Okay, so
don't worry
it's not
about
the
it.
spider.
I-
Okay. I apologize. Your name is very common amongst our group, apparently.
Apparently, yes.
Come in.
Yeah, and he'll wander inside, look around, and, just gazing around the area. You definitely can tell that he's not looking for incriminating evidence. The individual is just curiously minded around your business in particular.
So the new changes to the shop is there's 2 display cases. Only like 4 things are in them right now. One being the sword, the short sword of monster slaying I got from Jack, right?
Mhm.
One is a hellish made bison burger inside the displays case. Next to it is a horn of that overlord, right? The one that was a daemon. And then the third thing was a membrane of the beholder. And the last thing is a mummified hand of a very particular mage that chose the wrong person to piss off.
Fair. For resurrection purposes. Anyways, as he's looking at the display case, just, nodding and seeing. Are they labeled or are they just in there?
Yeah, they're labeled, and it says where they're from.
Yeah, and he's reading curiously and will. Oh, yes. And I should let you know, since you are somebody within the noble spectrum here in the Balearic Coast, the Council of Alona does not meet with people outside the council. Their entire purpose is to be the elected representatives of each of the major cities within the Balearic Coast, at Alona, the capital city, so that all of the rules, laws, regulations, shipments, assistances that are needed go through this council and then are distributed outside the world past them.
Okay, so then because I was one of the ones that were working on the amendments of the laws, I probably was sending like letters to them in that regards.
Not you directly, it would have to come from the princess. You've never been invited within their chambers. You've never had any direct interaction. You would know the Spalding representative, obviously, but it's more like you know the one person, which Spalding representative is Thorin Spalding.
Thorin. He wasn't one of the ones we turned in, was he?
No, he was not. The elected official does not get to leave the city just to be able to keep all of them safe and uninfluenced by magic. They're incredibly careful individuals, and they need to ensure that the elected officials have a very long-standing status for their reign of being safe, protected, and secure. Actually, we have a handout. Boop, boop, boop. I would recommend that you read through that.
I will when I get some free time. I invite them in and I go, what is it that you come to my shop?
So, the Bolera Coast representatives in Alona would like to have a conversation with you and your companions, since, well, recently you have joined them and were able to make quite a statement here in Spalding, but all of them are known for being a bit more interactive overall, this being their second uprising within our continent.
I look at Bardakov. Look at this. I'm apparently a member of your group now. Lovely.
Guilty by
You helped
association.
Overthrow a government with us. Of course you're associated with this, you idiot.
Somebody all the way in casino shutters.
Listen, you accepted Monkey. This is like...
We tolerate Monkey.
I never got the choice.
So I do know that Samdi was in casino last.
Yeah.
Because of the eye situation.
Yeah.
I tell him, so Samdi's not here, but with a quick message, I can get him here.
Well, I am capable of teleporting one more time, and past that we would be stuck using circles and returning back to Alona.
Chalk.
Yes, of course, but that is perfectly fine. We can go to Casino and get him. In fact, I have not seen Casino in nearly 5 years. And for a human, that's a long time.
Can't relate.
I'm aware. Anyways, would you all like to... Oh, we have to go get Katarine, yes.
Yes. She had an appointment with Davine today.
He'll look at the case a couple of times. You know, I went to one of his lectures, pointing at the hand.
Yes, and I told him he took one of my imp's fingers, so I would take his whole hand. His body was flayed and sent to his school, if it helps.
We are aware we intercepted that as an organization in order not to traumatize the children that attend it. And that'll be pointed out to you at the meeting as well.
Lovely.
But yes, he did seem a little... too chaotic for a practitioner of the arcane arts, in my opinion.
He was an extremist. An extremist that needed to be put down. Hellion, watch the shop.
Very well. And they go back over to the castle, and surprisingly, when Rish, you get there, usually if you're bringing anybody else into the castle other than like Kat with you or Bart or Samdi, you're kind of just like, no, you're not allowed to. But as soon as they see the Ludency representatives, they just, oh yes, please come on in, and allow you inside.
I would do a sending to Rossman to let her know too, just in case she's at the castle since she's one of the members now.
Mm-hmm. Now,
hide the bodies, etc., showing up with Luden members.
Kat, as you are sitting there in the office working with Davina, just eating a couple of fresh cakes and teas. Obviously, spending this amount of time within the city, especially working in close proximity to Davina, there has been a never-ending flood of snacks at your disposal.
She would resist as best as possible.
For 4 months. But you hear a knocking at the door.
And I look to Davina. That would be the representatives I told you about.
She'll
From the
wander
Ludency.
over, open the door. Ludency members, hello, hi, how are you? 3 greetings, why? That is quite impressive. I'm doing quite well. Hello. How are you? I'm good. So, yeah, I think we have everything covered here. You can't really keep the council waiting, Kat. Did they need me? No, you are not required for these matters.
Right, I just wanted to be sure that you felt comfortable taking over things while we made our travels. Davina.
I think we shall be fine here. You've all done a great job. Thank you. And if you need any people to just speak on their legitimacy or character, be sure to reach out to me. If that is something that the council deems necessary, I will alert you. Probably tomorrow. Anyways, shall we go get Samdi?
Yes. Before we leave, here you go. And I reach into my bag and I pull out like sugar dried snacks that I got from casino, and I give that to Davine. I go, here you go. It's a delicacy in casino. Enjoy.
Thank you. Oh, it's dry.
Yeah, a lot of things are over there.
To casino and claps his hands, spreads them out as you watch the magnificent circle ring of gold envelops you all and shook, teleports you away. As you all arrive in casino, you are looking at the very beautiful and large namesake to the city, the casino itself. The last place that you saw him, Reese. He was not doing too good.
I click on the earring and I go, Samdi, are you in the area? Where are you? We are here.
No. Samdi, considering you are actively gambling right now, all forms of magical communications are stunted within the limits of the casino itself to make sure people don't do the, oh yeah, I'm just watching these cards from behind, ha ha ha, deal, you know? But you do get static, like somebody's trying to talk to you.
It's a fucking
Samdi's just-
pager. Beep.
Yeah.
Just Sandy just like looks in the air. Just, it's already 4 months.
Damn.
Like, I don't know. What day is it?
Tuesday.
Look. Just gonna just fold whatever stupid hand he had and just.
Alrighty.
Is it daytime or nighttime?
Just gonna-
Considering it's almost... Actually, I have to map this out. It would be mid-afternoon now, which would
There's a
put you
casino
at
job.
the following, or the previous day, evening. So in casino, it is evening time of the previous day.
Lovely.
So yeah, Sandy's just gonna walk out of the establishment.
You see your companion standing there with 3 cops from Alona.
Of note, none of you know where Sandy is, as I'm still disguised. You see a suspiciously fat dragonborn walk past you.
He just has the theme song. You're like, oh, there goes Samdi. He's got the theme song.
As he's just gonna turn the corner anywhere, as like out of sight of the casino itself.
There's bushes out there.
Just undisguised, walk back out. Just, yep. Hi.
Bumpy?
He dropped his disguise, so yeah, he's Samdi now.
Uh,
Hello. Pleasure to meet you. My name is Misha.
Slow turn to Katarine.
Yep, that was the expected reaction from me. I am a Ludency member of Alona, and I am here to bring you all over to the Balera Coast's representatives' chambers so that you may all be interviewed around your recent dealings within our continent.
I plead the fifth.
Are there any particular affairs you need to wrap up here in town before we head out?
Santi is going to quickly just. I don't have a message, so no. He's just going to say, well,
Mass suggestion. You've never seen me before. And just
no. I haven't done that, so wrap up right now? No. Technically not. Look over at Reese.
yes.
I don't think this is a do it while the cops is watching sort of thing, is it?
No.
He just says this out loud.
we are not a policing force. We are peacekeepers.
Same shit.
We serve the people. Like, actually serve the people. Like, that is my purpose. Businesses are not a precedence over people.
Hey, if you want to be self-righteous, go for it.
That is the purpose of the Ludency. We all... notice, we are only here to converse, and we have not exacted any authority. We've been more than accommodating with everything. We are here to service the people.
Yeah. So, I grew up here. You've read the report about everything here, right?
Yes,
Can you understand my skepticism?
absolutely. And we are not here to apprehend anybody. We are not here to exact force. We are here to simply escort you to the chambers so that you may be interviewed by all of them. At any point in time, you all may reject this notion, and a more formal letter will be sent out to you that will be brought by a policing force.
Lovely.
And they are kind enough to use their own spells to move us around. So,
Yes.
Why didn't you start with that?
Oh, yeah. So, do you have any affairs you need to put in order before we go?
I'll leave that for later.
Very well.
Lovely.
I will begin drawing my circle. And as he drops down with the chalk and begins drawing it around, you see that somebody is walking over towards you all. One of the other guards here, the Shinari, that are very curious about it. And as soon as they see it's a Ludency member, they just, oh, yep, and then back away.
Sandy is like slightly hiding behind Bart as a Shinari walks by. Just
This circle's taking forever.
slowly.
It's roughly
towards
about
Bart.
10 minutes. Just
You know, I could
I
just
thought it was a minute.
poof us if you need.
Oh, I would not be presumptuous as to ask you all to utilize your own capabilities. This is part of my job. Not a problem at all.
He's like looking at a notebook. Oh no, the circle's this way.
Yeah, just... we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll send us to the twisting nether.
How was your vacation, zombie?
Up and down.
Mm-hmm.
I gave up on trying.
Is that a...
My daughter, we had tans, right? Me and my daughter and her tutor, we all got little tans while we were here.
Ah,
It was
Nesma.
good. It was a
That's
good vacation.
the one
day.
thing this place has in abundance.
Okay,
Yes,
and...
sun.
Sun and sand.
Floral. Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Yep. And
No, but I did get my
It's
money
sand.
back.
perfect.
Lovely.
And he claps his hands together as the spellbook puffs away into a different area, and the circle glows brightly. After all of you,
Counterspell. That's
And at that point, I just cast teleport and teleport all of us except the lunacy members to
Just
Valera.
leave him.
to Alona, just fuck
Alona.
him. Oh wait, you had people come get us? I don't like.
No, Cat just looks at just has the looks at the two of them and just walks through the circle. She's just like,
Oh, no.
behave.
Oh.
Of course. I am always well behaved. And I walk through.
Just in her mind, I haven't eaten anyone
We
in
can't
in
be
weeks.
stopped anymore. We are a force of nature now.
That is not something you should be saying when we're going on trial in a bit.
So-
Before I would say I am power. Now we are power.
Now,
We are
This
scary.
meeting is to placate us into not demolishing their city as well.
100%.
so
We look for the small minor inconvenience to the people there is, and just say, "Oh, entire government."
What the
Gone.
heck?
now,
Gone.
as you all teleport over. Yeah, this was a generic map that I found on Incarnate, and I just labeled differently. Easy
Okay.
enough.
I like the
That is
Venice
how
area.
that is how you.
Oh, the Shanti's Rim
wisely.
or
yeah,
the Parlors?
Parlarius?
Parlors,
Yeah, Parlors. It
which
looks
is
like a
exactly
Venice
where
looking
all of you
town.
are right now. You
Ooh.
stand inside of the incredibly large courtyard of the primary counselor's chambers here within the Parlors. Looking up at this magnificently large tower stretching easily 8, 9, 1,000 feet into the air and is just as wide as the Spaulding's estate itself, unreasonably large. You see clouds are drifting around different sections of windows that they have as well, and there is a beacon of light that comes off the top of it that none of you can see at this far distance away. As you all appear, you are immediately met by 12 other Lunacy members that all rotate. 12 being, of course, 4 other groups of 3 working together. They all rotate towards you and see that as soon as you arrive, they are beginning to get on guard, and the moment the other Lunacy members walk through, they immediately get at ease and just continue going about their business. Looking at this grand courtyard in front of you, you are walking across this stream of water that is connected to the brackish waters surrounding the outside of Alona itself. Going through and over towards this grand tower and castle, you see the doors are already open for you all, and as you walk in, magic becomes inert. So, Reese, would you like to describe what you look like when that happens?
All that happens is that the part of my face, you can see the socket get a little bit bigger, and there's scarring on the left side. It's the only real difference right now.
The clearly
On to the next
inhuman
one.
eye.
Yeah. And then you see the nails turned black, but besides that, nothing too crazy.
He paints his nails and then hides it.
You
No,
see
so-
Toxic
Zombie-
masculinity still
They look
exists.
natural.
You see Zombie
all
as a
natural.
collection of pouches and bags.
Just
As he just adjusts it, and you realize he's still wearing that same ragged piece of clothing that he's been this entire time.
He
so.
just has a shit ton of little bags on.
It helps when you're constantly disguised.
So you're afraid of pickpocketing.
Pick what pocket? I don't have pockets on this.
I love it.
Look, he spent a lot of time very poor while traveling with us. It makes sense that he's afraid of losing his stuff.
Yeah.
It's okay. It helps. I spent a lot of time poor too. My youth. So
What's that?
So,
Is that a joke? I'm too rich to understand.
lovely.
excuse me.
I currently have 69 gold and 8 silver to my name.
Nice.
I
It
am
was
a
your own
broke
doing, though.
ass bitch.
Everyone,
Yeah, but now I've got a sick ass hammer.
the stairs. He gestures, and you see that the tower itself is not magically made to appear that tall. It is that tall, and there's a lot of stairs.
You look at
For the
Santi.
love of God, you teleported us here and you don't have an elevator.
These chambers within the building itself has all magic completely nullified within it, except for the representatives themselves, their personal guards, and any threefold members that are positioned here within the tower itself.
That is something to mention to them.
You will all be
They're all-
welcome to have your conversations with them at the top of the towers. I will be awaiting your arrival down here.
Do our magic items stop working too?
What?
Like
Yes,
our magic items when we
magic-
walked in?
Unless it is an artifact.
I will say then, what about the bags of holding? Did it just...
No, just they no longer connect to that extra dimensional space.
Okay.
It is a bag. No holding.
My spear still works.
Yeah. Artifacts and legendary items are the only things that aren't inert in here.
Oh yeah,
Lovely.
Catherine. At what point are we having to give this thing back?
Eventually.
I like that answer.
I assume you guys are having this conversation as you going up the stairs. Athletics check,
Yes.
everybody. If your character is
is not
notoriously lazy, disadvantage.
I walk to work every day.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Who does that apply to?
Be honest
My
with
cra-
yourselves. Is your character exceptionally physically lazy?
I've got okay.
Thank you for being honest with yourself. Yes, Amdi, what is
Walk
your
to work
question?
Every single day.
I don't know how to word this because I'm pretty sure I know the question. No, it's using magic either way, so I'll just roll athletics.
Yep.
No, not a whisper roll. That's not the right one. An 8.
Perfect. Not surprising to anybody, Bart, you are the only one who makes it to the top of the stairs feeling only slightly winded. Everyone else, you are gasping for air, and you do see that they have lounge chairs at the top of this as well for you to sit on for a moment. There's bowls of water allocated to each of them for you to pat down the sweat from your body since you can't prestidigitate yourself right now.
Oh no!
And
You see some.
all three of you are just fucking wrecked. You're exhausted until you
see-
get a short rest.
You see, Samdi has currently regressed into a quadruped. Just
Reese looks at the chairs, and because of his spite towards Spaldings and having benches everywhere, he refuses to sit down.
Oh god, we could conquer cities, but we've been conquered by stairs.
I
First
mean, we should
rule.
have built something like this in Spalding. It would have killed them for us.
That's why they had stools everywhere.
Put the food at the top of the
What
tower.
to say, put the dining table at the top, they would have died along the way. We need to remember that.
In all
On the
honesty,
plus
they
side,
prob-
I'm really looking forward to kicking someone down these stairs at some point.
Lovely.
Samdi slowly looks at Reese.
The only one standing right now. So,
Yes. We're all sweaty and over there.
before you is a magnificently large, gold, intricately designed chamber's door. The door itself is roughly about 20 feet tall, but is only about 6 or 7 feet wide itself. It comes to a sharpened point and is a double set of handles that would twist down and open, and you see a sign in front saying, "Chambers in session."
That would be our session, I suppose.
Yes.
The-
I'm gonna let you know this now, Kat. You probably have the most experience when dealing with these kinds of people. So, I'll chime in every once in a while, but this is mostly you. And I'm gonna inspire her since it's not a magical ability.
I have
So.
20 charisma. Give me some credit here.
So,
You can talk too.
You're
I
not
slap him
too-
on the booty and inspire him too.
yeah. So while you're smacking each other's on the asses, you see from the corner of your eye, flying up to the top of the chambers, is a orcish-looking woman who, she seems to have a very half-orc, a very fierce complexion and resolved type of spirit about her. Her battle-scarred armor and strong physique reflects her unwavering dedication to protecting her home and their interest. Her presence commands respect, and you can tell that this is somebody who is very unshakable in their nature as she floats over the railings and steps down.
Before she gets, as she's like rising up, the first thing Sandra will say is, "Not this one part."
Yeah, he gets side eye from Cat too.
How'd you fly?
She looks over at you. I am the shield bearer of Ahiga.
Oh. Rasan Levant.
She'll give you a respectful nod. And head over towards the chamber doors where she opens them wide and looks over her shoulder at all of you. Join us.
Of course. And Cat will start going in.
So, the council chambers stand as a vivid tapestry woven from unity and diversity, evoking a profound sense of camaraderie between the Balearic Coast's delegates. Constructed from aged reddish-brown timbers, the chamber exudes an aura of storied history. Its walls bear intricate carvings portraying waves crashing against majestic mountains, sprawling forest, and bustling cities, a testament to the multifaceted landscape of the coast itself. At its heart lies a grand circular table, bathed in a soft radiance of ornate chandeliers that sway overhead. Encircling this central stage are a series of high-backed chairs, each adorned with a unique emblem embodying the essence of their respective communities. A wave-crowned sword from Sharpton, flames enveloping a towering peak for Spalding, intertwining leaves and aquatic motifs for Lototi, an anvil flanked by a lightning bolt for Ahiga, an elegantly crafted seashell for Avaloa, and a powerful mountain interlocked with all series of weapons for Valen, and a winding trail through lush landscape for Clayton. Infused with daylight, the chamber's expansive windows showcase stained glass artworks illustrating the annals of the Confederation, casting a mesmerizing mosaic of colors upon the gleaming floor. As the representatives gather, their voices intermingled with the shifting hues, forming a harmonious dialogue that shapes the coastline's destiny through shared insights and a harmonizing purpose. As soon as the doors are opening, you all step in. This voice ends, and all of the attention wanes and drops over towards you. As you arrive, you see that the... Bless you.
Thank you.
You see
The
that the
entire fucking
shield bearer of Ahiga goes over towards her specific chair within these chambers. And I suppose I should show you all this handout now, shouldn't I? So you can actually see what the chamber looks like.
Very opulent.
Yes.
The taxes could have paid for so much healthcare.
Oh, you'd be surprised. Anyways.
I mean, this
Looks like a-
city, from what Joey sent, seems to be a nice place.
I know,
I
I'm
don't know.
teasing.
On the
No,
surface, it
continue
is
looking
very
for-
good.
Continue looking for flaws. We'll bring down this one as well.
So, the representative
Just
sits
want to be the owners of a continent now. Is that what we're doing?
as the Ahiga representative sits down, the Sharpton representative stands up tall. Alara Stormblade. I am the sword bearer of Sharpton.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I assume that you know who all we are.
You would understand the etiquette is wait for everybody to announce themselves and then go ahead and say what you're... Announce yourselves independently.
Fuck the etiquette.
So, Alara Stormblade is a formidable warrior with a commanding presence. Tall and adorned in polished plate armor, she exudes confidence and determination. Her silvery hair, braided with blue ribbons, is a symbol of her commitment to unity among the coastal communities. After she does that and gives a very grand bow towards each of you, she sits down, and then the Spaulding representative stands. Thorin Spaulding. Thorin Spaulding is a stout and rugged human with a braided beard adorned with gems and beads. He wears intricate earth-toned robes that reflect his close connection to the land. His piercing eyes convey a sharp intellect and a strong commitment to Spaulding's interests previous to all of you. The netted warden of Spaulding, and he gestures over his heart as he smiles towards you all. After he sits down, you may. No magical advances, though.
I never had any. We would know that. Oh, 23.
23.
Specifically the smile, if I'm going to... Like,
Oh,
how does he
he's
actually feel
his
about
smile is very sharp towards all of you. He's not happy at all. But after he wiggles his way into his seat, the next representative stands up. Valen Windwhisper. Valen Windwhisper is an elven diplomat, graced with an aura of serenity, tall and graceful, adorned in flowing robes and natural hues. She emanates a calming presence. Her keen insight and empathy makes her an adept mediator among the representatives. Peace Weaver for Litoti. She smiles gracefully, and it feels warm and genuine towards each of you. After she sits, the individual you all had seen appear stands up very quickly and fiercely, screeching the chair backwards as her thigh slaps into it into a snapping position. Kala Ironheart. She is a... Well, I already gave you her description of everything. Shield bearer of Ahiga. And she takes the chair, scoots, and sits down more appropriately. The snapping attention much more immediate and resounding than the ungraceful way she has to pull the chair back to sit down. Next is a merfolk who exudes an air of mystery with flowing scales and intricate sea-themed attire. She embodies the essence of the ocean itself. Her wisdom and connection to the sea offer unique perspectives that enrich this confederation's decisions. Nyla Wavecaller. She waves. The Tidecaller of Avaloa. As she gives a very unique hand gesture type wave towards all of you before sitting down. At first, you didn't see this next individual, but you do hear the chair scoot backwards and a clicking sound resonate as a lifted mechanism starts pushing an individual higher into the air. Eric Emberforge, the grand inventor of Valen. as you all look at this very non-Valen looking individual. He is a gnomish and, well, skittish appearing individual, but you can sense a mischievous glint behind his eyes, donning elaborate goggles and a smattering of tools. You can see that he has integrated many of his inventions that he utilizes directly into his chair and even this chambers, and, well, you've even been able to peer at some of the more inventive uses of tinkering and invention here within the city of Alona itself. The last chair within the chamber stands one person. She gracefully stands tall, even though she is in a halfling form, of course. She smiles towards each of you and radiates a very strong energy from that smile. I am the Pathfinder of Claytel, Alara Swiftwind. Her earth-toned attire and leaf-adorned accessories reflect her affinity for nature. With her keen observational skills and infectious optimism that you can sense from her, she seems to be a very reasonable voice to be heard for this confederation and decisions. As she sits down, Kat and Rasan, you are both fully aware that this is where you would individually announce yourselves and your titles to this chamber.
It is a pleasure to make all of your acquaintances. I am Katarine Kalishnik. I am Princess of Rus. And these are my companions. I'm sure that you know much about us.
Rasan Levon Spaulding, lawyer and law firm of Spaulding.
Bartakov Petrovich, I guess personal bodyguard to Katarine Kalishnik.
They all turn over towards you, Samdi.
Samdi's just gonna look over. Samdi. First priest of Mamamusi.
Thank you for meeting with this chamber on such short notice. Alara smiles towards each of you and continues to, be raised in her high chair to be able to see towards everybody appropriately. Of course, there is no direct seating room for any of you, as, well, this is not a chamber where any of you are meant to rest. We have been alerted to your multi-faceted uprisings within our continent lately, and we figured it would be a apt moment for all of us to meet with you and to give you our official thanks for assisting us in our political dealings and attempts at trying to make better this continent so it reigns higher and more supreme towards its people than the other continents that many of us hail from have done recently. So, officially, thank you all very much. And the rest of the chamber nods in unison, aside from the Spaulding representative, of course.
I was about to say, I'm the Spaulding immediately.
I am smiling directly at him.
As is
How
Cat.
did we miss one?
You say that out loud?
Through the earrings.
No, you don't.
They don't work.
No magic.
Oh,
The
fuck.
magic.
Very quietly, under my breath.
Which echoes loudly in this chamber.
There's no whispering here.
No,
I'll look over.
there's no secrets in this chamber. They're very
That's
particular.
no way to talk about someone. He wasn't even there.
I wasn't even there, and I am the elected official to represent here in Alona. The body of the people chose that I should be our diplomatic representative here. Before you all came in with your dealings.
Justice for what was being done to the common people?
The common
I
people
think
elected
the
me.
most-
Mhm.
Then
I
that
look forward to
ties
the
to
next
your
election.
survival. And I think the word you're looking for is coup.
See, they admit it. It was a deliberate coup in order to uprise our entire... Oh, shut the hell up! You look over at Nyla, the, well, mysterious merfolk who seems completely done with his wordings.
I like this one.
I think that the
Like a
council.
fish, he's aquatic.
I think that the council can recognize the abuses that were occurring in Spalding. Whether you had any hand in them or not, it was a family doing. And if your purpose is to serve the people who elected you, then you would understand why it could be necessary. And in the casino itself, we took care of a threat that would have consumed the populace there as well.
Yes, we heard about your dealings with Silk as well. And although Casino is not an official represented state within our chambers, we still like to not exempt them from our dealings and considerations with everything we do. It would appear that Alara is the head of this chamber and council as she is speaking.
Mhm.
And I, for one, would like to assure you that this chamber was completely ignorant to the fact of the dealings that the Spalding seems to have been doing for quite some time now. All of the representatives that have come to us from Spalding since they joined the Balearic Coast's chambers have exempt all manners of this information from being told to any of us, and as such, we thank you. Though you worked outside of the dealings of the law, you did work on behalf of the people. So we will acquit you of your crimes.
How does the council stay ignorant for over 100 years?
Due to a
A lot of
flawed
time.
system being integrated and a very keenly kept secret from all of us. I was completely unaware of any of those dealings whatsoever. It's completely preposterous that anybody would presume that we had anything to do with that, and I, for one, am greatly offended by these accusations being thrown around.
I'm inciting that.
Well, as you are inciting, you see that Kala Ironheart pushes back in her chair, and you can hear a growl growing up in her throat towards his direction that he seems to become very aware of and silent towards immediately.
Red Sun's gonna clench his fist on that statement too.
And you know it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Your insight is not necessary, Kat. It is bullshit.
I guess with this man.
And I think
All I
that
have to say.
I think perhaps acting outside of the usual compulsions of this council, I don't think it would be too much to perhaps suggest that a new representative of Spalding be elected.
That is one thing that will be occurring when his tenure here as the current representative of Spalding expires. Unfortunately, we are not able to remove people from their seated position. Only the threefold may make that final decision.
Yeah, they gotta serve their whole 4 years.
And may I also point out that the threefold representative was found at the bottom of the lake
At Spalding, yes,
in Spalding.
but the threefold here within our city is still alive and vibrant. Now, if after these deliberations are complete, I am fully expecting that the threefold will do what is right, and I fully respect their decision in this manner above anybody else's. However, for the time being, Thorin, your opinions in all of our matters and dealings are completely unnecessary. I am still a member of this chamber. How dare you try... Oh, shut it the fuck up, Thorin. You look over at the Valen representative doing the first Valen-esque thing so far.
Audible laughter.
You also see that he pulls out some type of weird mechanism from the side of his hip and just places it on the table. It's a strange mechanism, and none of you have ever seen before. It has like a handle of a weapon, but it has like these hooks and gadgets and a long like cannon like tube at the top of it. It's very strange. And as soon as he places it down, Thorin just becomes even more skittish at this moment. But we are not here to discuss any of that. We are here to learn from all of you. How can we be better? You all seem to have a tremendous amount of insight into political dealings, and as far as I've been able to see, at least as a whole, you have not been self-serving in your expeditions against our states. It would appear that you have some inclination towards protecting the people, which is the purpose of our council as a whole. How can we be better?
Respectfully, my ambitions are merely selfish. When I look at Kat and their group, this group, they're the ones you need to have that conversation with.
Really?
Keep trying to distance yourself from us, but you're still here.
I've never lied.
Do you have
He's
no
going to-
invested interest in the furtherment of our society as a whole?
Balding.
Our society. The Bolera Coast.
It's complicated, right? Because you can try and make a system, you can put checks in place, but people are gonna still try and do the bad, right? They're gonna still try and slip past the cracks. Right?
Absolutely. And it is our job to adjust our current dealings in order to put an eye on those individuals to make it more clear so that our system can strive to do the right thing and create a system within our society that the future generations can aspire to making better. Our oversight over towards Spalding stems from us trusting of the representative system that we all have in place, that all of us have been elected upon, only being allowed to serve a couple of short years and a limited number of terms in total. We thought that this would be a good checks and balance to make sure that no corruption within our lawmaking or systems would be in place. Clearly, we were faulted in this. So please.
I mean, I see your checks, right? You can serve 4 years, only 8 years in a row, no more than 24. That works. But then you come into the great debate of, do you squeeze the society to not trust them, which causes rebellions, or do you trust them to do the right thing, which can cause chaos? I can't make that opinion because my opinions are merely for the Church of Asmodeus and law, which would cause more constricting. So with that being said, I have to exclude myself from this opinion.
Very
I
well.
am bound by no such tenets. I agree with Risto. You have a good foundation for a good system. But as he rightly says, the harder you squeeze, the more likely people will try and pop out of your grip. So you do need trust. Trust of the people to do the right thing. It's not the people that are the problem. The people only rise up when they are goaded to and misled, or when they are truly oppressed. So, you check each other, would be my thought. this whole shit in Spalding came down because we trusted your representative to know what was going on. This whole thing could have been prevented by any one of you taking a trip there for 2 days and seeing what a shithole it was.
We
Just
do.
going to the Growlers district.
We all do a tour when we are
They
Gravelers
literally
District.
had
Who
3
leads that
districts
tour?
called Grovelers districts.
Gravelers.
How was that not a red flag?
He looks over at the representative. Gravelers District is a nickname. It's where many of the
Nope.
people who don't have their own places.
You can stop talking.
That's
I think that it has been very clear that your opinions do not hold any weight here, so why waste your breath? It could be close to your last, depending on how the threefold find your actions.
Or if I find you in a dark alley.
Immediately, Valen turns her serene aura over towards you. Excuse me, no threats within our chambers, please. This
You're
is
right.
a deliberation realm. We are here to converse, listen when it is necessary, but threats are only counterintuitive to reaching our aspired goals. Please, respect that.
I do.
Thank you.
And again, my last name being Spalding. Right. It's more of a family business. But I digress.
So, us committing to our tour was actually harmful towards our belief within our system.
It is
What
not
would be a-
necessarily the tour itself. It is. I think that what you failed to do was see who was leading it and why they would show you things and not show you other things.
A guided tour by your representative is not an accurate picture of the state of things.
The representative who had been elected by the people of their respective cities. The electoral process was supposed to be handled appropriately, and clearly it was not.
No.
So we need to reallocate our efforts into adhering a proper electoral system in place. And perhaps instead of a guided tour, we do a surprise tour periodically so that we can see what the state is truly like.
Or perhaps even a anonymous tour.
Yeah, I
I'm
was
sure
thinking
that
that too.
many of you have the capacity to change your appearances and to
Well-
move unnoticed.
I mean, if it works for restaurants, it should work for this.
Yeah.
At this point, Sandy's looking for anything. It's like
I
he's
love
going to pick out a fucking hors d'oeuvre from his backpack. Just
I love it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have the threefold. They work secretly, they snoop around, they do everything behind the scenes. That's easy enough. The Lutency. Expand them. Make them a nationwide organization so that you have a reporting presence in each city.
That cannot be, Kala speaks up from Ahiga. I would agree with that. We do not... Unfortunately, the state of guardship and policeship across the realms has been diminished for some time for people that we want represented. And it would be seen as a show of force and tightening of grip if we exuded the Ludency further. Not to mention we have enough people to protect our city within the Ludency, but it's a very long, tedious process for somebody to go through the proper training in order to learn how to be a peacekeeper. Takes roughly
That-
about 6 to 8 years worth of deliberate education, and then another 2 to 3 years of expert training on weapons, magic, other choice things like that.
That
Sure.
with the threefold
you-
becomes a mass group, right? People start like communicating a little too much, which it's hard to keep tabs of, right? Control is the key. Because if it's too expanded, it's going to take one guy to burn every single threefold member.
Okay, maybe not the threefold. They work better as a small unit, but
Yeah.
so you take the Lutency, you install a couple of, you take, your most trusted captains of the Lutency, and you install them as the head of the peacekeeping division of each city. Each city still has their own law enforcement, their own shtick, but you have a person on the ground, not associated with the ruling faction at that city, but you have at least someone at all times in the city so you know what's going on.
A
And
North
yes,
Star,
right.
anyway.
Exactly.
That is an interesting proposal, to say the least. Kala looks over, and many of the others do as well, and they all seem to be looking at one another, and they reach directly in front of themselves where there appears to be some large-handled object that has a star at the top of it, and from your perspectives, all of you are fairly tall, right? Not short. Yeah, none of you are short. You can see that the current facing side of these handled objects is that of a dove, and some of them pick it up and push it forward on their side of the table so it is more clearly seen by the other representatives. You do take note that the Valen representative, the Ahiga representative, as well as, surprisingly, the Avaloa representative all flip theirs to the opposite side, where instead of it being a dove, it is now that of a falcon. That is 3 votes against, 4 votes for. You see that Spaulding waited until others showed their vote to flip it and go with what the majority nearest to him were doing.
Good
I
lord.
think that
The whole Balara coast is ruled by committee.
Yes.
We prefer that or monarchy, they're all gonna have problems, Bart. I say you should do a diplomatic inspection as well as an anonymous inspection, right? One being a diplomat to talk to the noble and the representative, and then have an anonymous inspector, right? Not state who he is or what he looks like, just inspect the people. Go into a tavern. When I was a bard, that's how I got information. That's how I learned.
You all hear a
Also-
bell within the chambers. Oh, what were you saying, something?
I was just gonna say, also, don't make it easy to spot him.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we have organizations in place for specific spy ship like that. You all hear a bell, and a moment goes by before the doors behind you all open, and you see that there is currently a chef pushing a cart into the chambers. Apologies, everybody. We've been deliberating all day, and we do need to eat to keep our heads clear. The Spaulding immediately kicks up and, yes, wonderful. Everyone else is less excited, clearly. But still, oh, thank God, food. As the food is being pushed around the long way, everybody is given their plates, and the chef moves over towards the backside of the table, as immediately everybody gracefully thanks the chef, and the Spaulding member didn't even thank. They just pick up their food and start shoveling it into their mouth, and within a couple of moments you hear them choking, and you see a foam forming at their mouth as they fall, collapsing dead, and the chef reaches under their shirt, pulling out a familiar symbol, places it on the table, removes their chef's outfit, and walks out.
Interesting.
Well,
47?
Santi says out loud. At least I lived today by practicing patience and not stealing from him.
Look at the guy going out. Lord of Iron, bless you.
The individual gives no acknowledgement to anybody else as they simply just walk out. It would appear that the threefold has made their deliberations. You
I
all
think
look
that-
over at the dead Spaulding on the table, just...
Yes, and that was a concern of mine. That it seems that your representative in Spalding had been missing for quite some time.
Oh.
Considering the state that I found him in.
Kala, get that, and Kala quickly scoops it and tries hiding it from sight from all of you, but all of you have seen one before, even though you're not supposed to have, so you know that it is the same symbol. Forget that you've
Really?
ever seen that.
We're just accepting that a council member was assassinated mid meal, and we're just okay with that.
That is the purpose of the threefold.
The diplomatic assassination.
When it works.
I
Yes, of
At
course.
least move them off the table you're eating off of.
And this is the first time that we have heard any such claims that someone who is a member of the threefold has failed in their duties or jobs, and we must look into why that happened. As she says that, she turns her head over towards Alara, who seems a bit more uncomfortable with that statement, but gives a soft sigh. Very
If I
well.
may, my first assumption would be that your representative here gave information on what could identify your representative, who is meant to keep check in Spalding.
Well, only the people within proximity of the individuals are able to see when they prove themselves, and only people of our status are supposed to be aware of what that symbol looks like. Seeing that something has happened, you must talk to them. And Alara nods her head. I will be visiting the threefold and speaking to them, of course. We need to find out how their system failed us.
I think it failed because you had too much faith in it.
Maybe.
I think that having a trust but verify mindset towards each other. Not to sow suspicion, but so that someone cannot abuse your trust. I do not find, unlike some of my companions, I do not find your trust in each other to be a weakness. But I think that it has been abused. I think that the trust that you have that each other would do the right thing is admirable and a difficult feeling to have in such a chaotic world.
Mm-hmm. Your system's good. I've never once denied that. Just looking over the laws and how you guys select, it makes sense. Verifying the votes might be a first step on that.
Yes, I agree, and I think that just being able to protect what you have is another good step.
Well,
Hmm.
we have heard all of your suggestions, and we will be taking them into mind with our deliberations moving forward over the next few weeks. We will be pausing the re-election within Spalding until we have fully analyzed their electoral process, and then closely guard and watch it, hopefully with a new group that can adhere towards that specifically. Their entire purpose to guard that. Thank you.
And may I also say that it gives me hope that you are willing to speak with us and willing to learn from what we have found. That in itself is a reassuring thing for me.
The purpose of a governing body is to create a better society for everybody. And to speak for those that would not have a voice otherwise. If we did not speak to you, we should be a target of yours.
You said it.
I mean, not to raise tension, but I've still been counting all the shortcomings.
And we would love to hear what those shortcomings are, please.
It's a joke, mostly.
Sorry, in these chambers we do not like to joke about things. We like to be more precise. However, we all would like to do something a bit abnormal, as thanks to each of you. We would like to deputize you as Ludency members. So any city you step into within the Bolera Coast, you will be treated with the same level of dignity, respect, and accessibility that comes with that prestigious title. Because this is a deputizing state that can be revoked by any of the most powerful people within a city-state or their representatives. But you'll be given access to do what it is you all have been doing for Komortar thus far.
Only in an official capacity now.
Correct.
I will deny that because of my job. It's if I start using that, it can be seen as coercion, and my contracts need to be of 100% free of mind.
Then you will not have access to the same benefits as the Ludency members, or access to the knowledge that they gain as well.
That's why I have allies.
Would the deputization make us beholden to you in any way? Like, would you be able to dictate our actions?
We do not dictate anything. We deliberate.
Really, Jess?
And we
no,
ask.
it's more the like you're the one to ask that, like, and you're the one who has
I love it.
the demon patron.
I would rather like to keep the people who have authority over me to a minimum.
Yeah, I don't want another contract.
That's
no.
what my thought
Yeah.
too was. That's why I was like, no.
I already have you and the Demon Lord of Slimes. I would rather not also effectively be a cop.
I think the world needs
Just
Zombie the
following
cop.
orders. No, thank you.
I don't think cop zombie is a good idea.
I mean, you could. correct
That
me.
is the definition of a bad
I
apple
love it.
right
I
there.
love it.
Yeah.
Hey, take a zombie. Take it. But yes, I unfortunately, as I mentioned before, my drives are a little bit more on the selfish side, and because of how I do my contracts, it would be seen as coercion, which goes against the tenets.
Then, may we ask you for one courtesy, since there's no way for us to enforce your companions not sharing information with you, since they are gaining this title, that you do not use this for malicious intent.
I will never do that.
Thank you. The word of someone of Asmodeus means great deal.
The word of resand means more.
They smile at that, but yeah.
I also give him my business card. If you ever need to contact me, I put it on the table.
Mhm.
Zombie, who's just been passing out snacks at this point, is just like, wait, this goes for me too?
Yes, all of you.
Do you have my track record?
We have absolved you of all known crimes that we have of you on this coastal line.
You see zombie choke on something?
That would have been nice before I did the community service.
They
We
have
had
do
to
their
deliberate.
research.
And
I feel as though you only scratched the surface there, but whatever. Um,
well, would you like to admit to more crimes for us to potentially absolve? And you see, though she is smiling, the rest of the chamber like narrows their eyes at you.
Sandy is chuckling to himself when he says, "No, I keep my secrets."
I mean, I told Avalon everything that I did. Demon contacting, devil contacting, ripping hearts. It's kind of what I do. So
Surprisingly,
bird.
your crimes were not our largest log.
Yeah, it makes sense. I look at Samdi. Makes sense.
Nor was his.
I look at Cat. I'm honestly not surprised.
They all look at Bart.
I'm still looking at Cat like I'm not surprised.
what did I do?
Known crimes. Known crimes. Samdi
One
hides
guy.
his evidence. He eats it.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think the only time I've ever left evidence is in the beginning.
Yeah.
You're arrested for one murder, and suddenly I'm the troublemaker.
Yeah, it's
But
weird.
you are.
You're the troublemaker. I sent the whole body to a school, so I mean, hey, it is what it is.
So I'm just gonna say. So you said that we aren't beholden to you. Would a higher member of the what was the name again? Lucia? No,
Ludency.
Ludency. That was actually Carl messing up, not Santi.
Yeah, you're fine.
I was gonna call. I always. Like
There's a lot of names floating around here right now. At the start of every new arc, you guys go to a new city. There's a lot of information for you.
I have the titles, but none of the names.
Yeah, that's why I put it up. That's a weird
I'm gonna rewatch it and get all the
Yeah.
names. Like I'm not gonna be able to catch them all right now.
In my head, I kept calling them the Ludicrous.
Luda.
The little
Luda, right?
Krasnadi.
Ludacy. Would a high-ranking member of the Ludacy be able to command?
All members of the Ludency would be able to stop you from doing anything. However, you would not be controlled by any of them. We do not wish to control more than what is necessary to help society, and all of you have been working outside of that control thus far, so why should we not continue to do that?
Essentially, he's saying, look at Sandy, if you keep doing good, we can keep doing good, and we won't have to worry about public authority so much, right? As long as you're not massacring people in the streets. It gives you guys essentially free reign to work with the law.
Or committing overly to any occultist activities that would be summoning of greater entities to our realm.
Yeah. So, in hindsight, what you guys have been doing, it'd probably be an asset to y'all.
So my understanding of it is, it's more less us joining you and more allying with you to
That's what
Or
I
there
continue
are-
pursuing our mutual goals.
Yes.
It is
Also-
a mutually beneficial relationship. Yes. We wish to imbue you with authority so that we can continue to do our job, which is make this world great.
I am willing to take that deal.
Yeah, something?
Just like one last question. Does the pardon extend to casino?
We do not have authority out that far.
Good to know.
I mean, we essentially not own casino, but the entire town of the city owns us their lives. So I think you're pretty good there, buddy.
You think?
that, and whether authority or not, the name will still carry some weight.
So I updated the representatives handouts to have the names of each of the territories' representative, their race, as well as their title and
Oh,
description.
Christ.
You're a merciful soul.
I know. Take notes, though.
I was.
I
I just
will.
wasn't typing fast enough.
Very
I will.
well.
It's one of those things that I just know that I'm gonna have to rewatch anyway.
Yeah.
So
Good. More viewership. Anyways, as this conversation is going on, they do take in a handful more suggestions from each of you, critiques on their system, and they are, as a whole, either indifferent to incredibly accepting of all critiques that you can give them on what they are doing. The general vibe that is distinguishable across this crowd is seeking to do good. That is the best that I can give you. Not 100% good, but seeking to do good. The only individual doing all of this, since I believe... Wait, are any of you experts at Insight? Reese, you're an expert insider, right?
I am.
Plus 10 or higher?
Insight 14, yes.
Okay, you're an expert. The only one out of all of these individuals that... Wait. Battle scarred. The only one out of...
is looking very indifferent.
The only representative here that you cannot peg their emotions whatsoever is Nyla Wavecaller. She's the Avaloa representative, the Tide Caller. She's the only one you can't peg. All the other ones, you've 10, 20, 30 minutes of talking to them, you can peg them, but not a Nyla. And on that note of breaking Christian, and not Jess for once, we're going to go ahead and go on break, everybody. We'll be right back.
Just
Christian has agreed.
Yeah, Christian's ready. All right, welcome back, everybody. So, after deliberations with the chambers continue for a couple of hours as they look into your thoughts on how they can reform and take into very specific consideration this entire time, roughly towards the end of it, they notice through the open windows that, well, it is very dark outside at this point, and, well, I think it's about time that we head off to bed, guys. We've done a long day of deliberating, and, well, we will continue to do what we've been doing in the morning.
Can I request compensation for my time as a worker? I had to step away from my office. Very busy place.
I mean, I suppose we can... No, we're not paying you for doing the right thing. We
My
absolved
lady, I
you
did
of
this
your
thing.
known crimes.
The Valen did that.
For your known crimes within that city, dictated by that city, not in the coastline. You know what? I think I'll handle this. I will be more than happy to compensate you all with a lovely feast. I, for one, am starved, and a lot of these people don't really stay up that late or like to hang out after work, so I'd be more than happy to bring you all along.
Which one's talking?
Right now, that is Eric, the Valen representative.
No.
Yeah. Gnomes usually don't sleep very much in the evenings. They're known for being up all night, usually doing things. Much in the same way as elves. Trance, gnomes just tinker.
Just solving a Rubik's Cube in their sleep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll handle it. Don't any of you cheap asses worry about it. All right, let's get going. And the council chambers all one by one evacuate, and as you all get out, you see that nobody's up here. Nobody is waiting, and all of the representatives simply step over a ledge and float down gracefully to the bottom.
Lucky.
If I jump off and like featherfall, am I gonna, or will that like cancel, or will I just go splat?
Are you asking them?
Yeah, I'm asking the guys with Eric.
Eric just... Yeah, good question, buddy. And jumps off, and Nyla just gives a sound before jumping off as well.
I mean, do they get paid for doing this?
When I'm looking, did they cast featherfall?
Looking at it, roll me an Arcana check.
Just like looking at the closest person before they leave. You get paid for being these council members, or is it just like
We get a yearly allowance for doing this.
200 gold.
you're getting paid for doing the right thing? So he's just gonna start walking down the stairs,
I love it.
all fours.
As you are walking, Kala will place a hand on your shoulder and whisper very quietly specific crimes that you've committed within this coastline that you know the fines for would be incredibly expensive, and jail time or execution would be in order someday.
I'll smile and admire her.
You have a fan.
So,
Thank you for keeping tabs.
your 21 Arcana. None of them are casting Featherfall, but you do notice that different objects on their persons gleam brightly as they step off, and then they slowly, like they're under the effects of Featherfall, go down.
I'm looking at it, thinking about jumping. Right, and I think to myself, probably not the best decision. Probably not. I'm probably not. I walk down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
So,
Something just popped in my head, and it was like, you can't get the last word with a man that doesn't care.
So, as you all walk down the stairs, it's much easier to go down the stairs than up the stairs, but it's still quite exhausting for all of you. You reach to the bottom where Eric is sitting there deliberating with... Which one is the Lotito? Valen, the other elf here. Hi. I figured I would, well, accompany you out to eat tonight. There's a Valen. Yes, that is the Toti representative, the elf.
Okay.
There is a phenomenal hibachi place not far from here.
I'm down for that.
Have you ever
That's
been
not
to a
a-
hibachi?
No.
That's not the cuisine I am familiar with either, but sounds interesting.
Oh,
Out
It's
of
fish,
character,
right?
you'll love it.
Out of character, I don't think Santi has, but it keeps coming back up. So I keep mixing them up in my head.
You have been to a hibachi grill in Casino Samdi.
Hmm.
Yes.
Is
So,
it like fish?
they have fish, yes.
Does Avola, will she get offended if we have the fish?
No, of course not. Merfolks are completely different than fish.
I don't know. That's just something you have to educate me on.
Gladly. As she gives off this very calming aura while you're in proximity to her, all of you are feeling blissful, happy, and at ease. Just ever present coming over you.
I resist.
The minute we get
Oh, you
out-
attempt to resist. All right, go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw.
That's not... Yeah, this is Santi definitely doesn't like this. It's like I don't
Tell me
want to
to-
feel happy.
Don't tell me to calm down.
I am calm. 5. Sorry, Samdi.
God damn it.
Yeah, you're chill, buddy.
Yeah.
So, as you
Chilling,
are...
I'm mad about it.
Damn, this is unfortunate.
Before I
I am
forget,
so
the minute we
angry.
leave the anti-magic field, I'm gonna like fix my eye and make all my stuff go back.
Boop, 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 boop. As soon as you walk outside the building, magic comes back.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, I think it's like 10 feet outside the building. Yeah. So, as you all
It's
step
ju-
out there, your magic becomes active yet again across all of you.
Just an explosion of fucking illusions coming off of Santi. He has like 7 different layers of shit happening to him
He's
at
been
once.
naked this whole time. Who would have known? Like, it's crazy.
So, walking with them, you head down just for a few short blocks, and you enter into an establishment that has a elven man kind of just lying down on a bench, and this very large-looking grill directly in front of you. And as you all step in, he stands up and representatives, pleasure. Thank you, Peace Weaver. It's wonderful to see you back here, and Inventor, pleasure. Stop kissing our ass, dude. Come on. All right, so we're gonna eat, everybody. Okay. Trust the man. He knows what he's doing. And you see him start taking out the spatulas and doing all of the fancy shit out of hibachi as you are mesmerized by this performance eating that you have. So, how do you all think it went?
Lovely. I mean,
I didn't get executed.
I'm surprised. If I may be so honest.
Based off of track record, I could understand why.
truthfully, I'm upset.
Why?
I'm upset there's a whole organization dedicated to helping the people. And the sickness that happened 100 years ago, right? The plague that happened literally like a couple months ago. The fact that this kind of necromancy was practiced, right? In that sense for so long, and it went unnoticed. It just upset me. A lot of people died,
Yeah.
and they didn't need to.
And that is something we don't want to happen again. And Valen reaches over and just taps the top of your hand comfortingly, and it feels comforting as well. But there will always be a flaw in every system. There will always be a way for someone to take advantage of it, and it is our duty to just try to stop that.
I mean, most of that was you preaching to the preacher, so I get it.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. Soon, there's going to be a lot of changes around this coastline.
And I'm glad that you are willing to include us in that process.
Of course. You've all done mixed things your time here in Komortar, but for most of you, the good severely outweighs the bad.
I mean, I'm the devil of Spalding, so I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
I think that was meant.
Oh, for you all. Yes, like, what is it? Do you guys just go to town, getting uprisings, taking names?
No,
Not
under our own
deliberately.
names. We
Yeah, and
caused
it's-
quite
go
a
ahead.
stir when we came into Spalding.
I'll be very honest. I am just going.
Like, at some point, you need to regale me with the story about what happened in Casino. When I talked to the people down there, they all mentioned you, right?
Who specifically? And he takes
Elgin,
out
Glenstein, I don't know. No,
No,
sorry,
that-
not Elgin, not that
No,
guy.
no, that's Glenn's guy.
Lacruda Gitash.
Lakudra?
Lakutra and Gitash,
Yeah.
and Shinare soon, I'm sure.
Shinnaru-san, yeah.
Yeah.
They all mentioned you.
They're all soon, not son. Soon.
So,
Soon.
like tsunami.
So Casino is run by council in a way. Everyone is responsible for their own clan. The leader of one of the more powerful clans in the city happened to be a Deva Pestil, and it is something we discovered through our own work, and because of his entrenchment into the power structure of their society, was untouchable. But not by us. We put down his
You see Rasan
Plan.
pull out paper and a thing. He starts writing.
part of their plan was releasing a sand that was tainted and corrupted.
The
and
purple
caused-
sand.
Yes.
Purple
And it
sand.
caused madness amongst the people that it infected. Part of their plan to have death and destruction in the name of Pestil. And we were
More bad done in the name of the greater good, quote unquote.
no
Well,
bad in the name of bad.
Yeah, no.
Bad in the name of bad.
Pistil, I think, as far as I can tell, has like one active worshipping unit that isn't just bad.
Noted.
They actually have a
Gray?
mortuary in town. Yeah, Gray.
Mhm.
You ever see the mortuary?
No.
Oh, it's that giant pyramid. It just appeared out of nowhere over in Shisco.
That is a note of places to go.
He's
I
going
start
to
writing
turn.
down.
Bart, you
Somebody's
walk
going to-
past that. It's labeled the Mourning Wood. As in mourning sadness. Wood.
MOUR.
So I'm just going to turn to Kat. And I wasn't really there, but did we ever deal with your our friend underneath the hot springs?
We have not.
I mean, what do we feel like doing more? Being cops for a very clearly incompetent committee, Or cleaning up some of our own messes.
Tying up loose ends is always the way to go, in my opinion.
Well, despite the titling given to us, I am very curious as well. What are you all going to be doing?
Good question. I, for one, feel like a man who's unchained now. All of my drive, all of my goals sated.
That is wonderful, and she'll pat your hand again comfortingly.
It is something to discuss. I feel that. Well, I think one thing that I think we all will agree on is the renaming of the city of Spalding to something else.
New Spalding.
New Spalding.
New Spald City.
New Spalding City.
Or Despald.
Despald.
Despald. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, but it's
No,
so
we're
tragic.
we're not doing a Leo less. Thank you.
God damn it.
I think that's again, I think maybe putting it to the city, the people of the city itself. What would they want their legacy to be? What would be their?
So, I mean, there's a democracy, but there's still a queen, right? With Devant,
Davina.
right? Davina? Can't even read my own writing.
As far as it has been alerted to all of us, yes, she is still the monarch of the city, but the monarch's responsibility has been in favor of tiebreakers that the elected officials do not deliberate on. Which
That's how I took it
seems
too.
decent.
She has a lot to learn, but I feel that she has a lot of potential.
Good.
She's simply young, and has been, in a moment of crisis, was willing to listen to me and trust in the greater good.
Oh, by the way, my friend Cade, you all have met him. He alerted me after investigations surrounding the body that apparently that threefold member was attempting to kill the individual that they were in charge of looking over, the king. Unfortunately, however, it would appear that they had protective magics in place from unforeseen circumstances in order to watch their back, and some type of demon-like entity killed him before he could do it. So, extenuating circumstance warranted his failure. It is still something that the threefold has to adjust and learn from, but I figured you all should know.
Glad to know that it was not a failure to act.
Yes. All threefold members have one spell cast upon them that, in the case of death, an individual is able to, well, with proper knowledge of that spell, go to it and review what surrounded their deaths up to an hour beforehand and a few minutes after.
That is helpful to have.
Of course.
I am glad to know that that it is a system that is doing its best, right? That there is, as we talked about, every system has its flaw, but at least it is working to its capacity, right?
Correct. And we learn from our mistakes so that we don't make them in the future. I mean, that's how I've lost a few digits.
I think anyone who tampers with anything is in danger of losing anything. The nature of the beast.
Yep. Can relate. As Rasan orders some wine, he starts pouring some drink. So yeah. just
Oh, they don't
interesting.
have normal... Well, they would have rice wine, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
whatever
so
alcoholic drink.
Oh, they have sake. A lot of sake.
Yeah, cats in the sake.
Zombie
It's like
will-
vodka, but flavor.
It's like vodka, but not potatoes.
Not potato vodka.
It's like vodka but hot.
Yes.
So Zombie will join in on the drinking as he's just gonna laugh to himself and then drink.
But yes, I mean, whatever it is all of you are going to be doing, if you ever need help pursuing your goals, don't hesitate to reach out to at least me. I mean, I'd be more than happy to assist you in affairs. The Valen folks seem to be... Vanessa seems to be very fond of your group, and Cade is a good man as well who seems to be fond of you, so...
Was linked to me for a whole month. I'm good with him. I need as much time as possible from that man.
And I also would be more than happy to help you all.
Are you drunk?
Very.
Zombie's going to send a quick mental message to Katarine,
Yeah.
and it's just going to be, I don't know what it is about this one, but this reminds me of Silk.
Oh, in what way?
Too outwardly nice.
Too nice. Don't trust them. There's no good people in the world. Zombie.
That's how we picked up on Silk, yeah.
Oh, you picked up because you could see that racism behind his eye.
Right.
Yeah,
But
I have
it
a
being
ch- I have a-
tied with the being too nice,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if they...
Zombie has a checklist for secret supervillain. Really nice. Secretly racist. There's nothing else. Just a nice person and secretly racist. That means he's evil.
I'm aware Litoti is a very small city, but we have quite a few accomplishments under our belts. We are more than happy to help you.
I'm
I
glad to hear
appreciate
it.
it.
There's, I feel that we still have much to do.
Well, if you ever get in a fight, definitely call her up. Oh, stop. I don't do that anymore. Mhm.
Oh?
Powerful.
No, not anymore. I'm retired from the battlefields.
What was your other weapon?
The words.
A battle axe.
Your tenants are a piece, aren't they?
Looks over at Bart. Like, there's another one.
There was 3 in that chamber.
Zombie is going to send another
It can
message.
only get so
Katarine.
hard. The armor only allows so much.
Now that it's not
Zombie sends
magical, it can
another
bend.
mess.
But go ahead. Go ahead,
God
Sandy.
damn it. Another message to Katarine. Alright, that's a left turn if I ever saw one.
Mm-hmm. Truly. I'm
Oh.
liking them more and more.
Oh, dude, she was phenomenal. She was originally a member of Valen. I'm one of the only people on the council old enough to remember back during those days. I'm no longer a Valen person. But she was fucking cool. Like, this woman was able to leap off of the mountains and shatter people with her axe. That is an over exaggeration.
You're tenants of redemption, aren't they?
There are things
This
in my
aura.
past I am attempting to make better.
This aura is the only thing
Aren't we all?
I've dealt
I'm
with this
not.
aura before. It's very calming.
I think you've forgotten where I stand in the situation.
I'm glad you think that. And she'll pat your hand again.
I think that, for those that seek it, I think redemption is it's a worthy goal.
Hmm.
Glares at Bert.
At some point, you realize that violence is not how you make the world good permanently. It is through the hard decisions that make it truly great.
Some of us are out of that, though. Some of us have our souls damned, unfortunately. But it is a possibility, and for most people.
To send a message to Reese. Are you just fishing for hand pats at this point?
Reese would reply back, "No, I'm learning."
Human touch, I miss it.
No.
Positive reinforcement. Ah.
He will not
This is-
take it that way.
Yeah.
That's how I figured out he's at Oath of Redemption.
She.
she.
Yeah. But I think I've had a little bit too much to drink tonight. This is why I usually don't go out. I am going to be heading home. Do you have more of those taiyakis? Oh, yeah, and reaches below and pulls out these fish-shaped looking pancakey things and hands her a set of 4 of them. Oh, wonderful. And starts eating and walking. Samdi, you do notice the 3 individuals following behind her as well.
Everyone else invisible.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because subtle cast.
Casanti is paranoid no matter where he is.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. But seriously, you all should have been there and seen those fights back in the day. I mean, peace, love, happiness, sure, but a firm hand gets shit done.
Mm-hmm.
I have found that too.
There you go. Hey,
You made me
big guy,
sad.
big guy. Your armor looks, what is its origin? Is that, primordial?
It was a gift from a Jin in the elemental plane of fire.
A Shin.
Pretty hot.
Nice.
He was good. He helped us out in casino as well.
Oh.
Now that was a fight too.
Wait, are you talking about Tawahaj?
That's the one.
I've read all of the reports surrounding your exploits, personally.
Hmm.
Wanted to make sure we were working with people that were sincere in their own goals. Even if they are self-serving, sincerity matters to me.
I am nothing but sincere.
Oh, I'm aware.
Sinister is the word I would use, but there's a soft underbelly to that scaly boy.
A large, soft underbelly.
But yeah, that's pretty neat stuff you got there, man. Really impressive.
Hmm.
Y'all are badass.
To be honest, I mainly sought it out because the desert was so godforsakenly hot. Allows me to withstand the heat a little bit better. Less relevant here, but still useful.
I was only there for a couple weeks, and after the second week, I was like, it's too hot. I had to get.
My brother, I come from a country of snow and ice. It was not okay.
I had to exist like a vampire.
Weakness.
So,
Weakness on all fronts.
Same as
obviously.
usual.
Yes.
Can't relate. Weather's pretty calm over here.
It's pretty nice. Temperate.
Mm-hmm.
Eh,
Well, all I know is pretty soon things are going to be changing pretty rapidly in this city. For the better, of course.
you keep saying that and it keeps filling me
Insight
with dread.
check.
Go for it.
Somebody will say it out loud. You keep saying that, and the way you say it.
He has some
Doesn't
type
dread.
of diabolical plan that you can sense. Not really diabolical, but plan. You can see he's been fishing for somebody to ask him about it.
What is this plan?
Oh, glad you asked. I have about 15 different steps in order
Oh,
to get. And he pulls out from a bag of holding this very large stack of tomes that he just keeps
Okay.
pulling and pulling and
see,
pulling.
As he starts doing that, I stop him. I was like, I have been drinking, and I wouldn't comprehend anything
Oh,
that you're
well,
saying.
the gist of it is animatronic labor so that people can pursue passion.
Have you
I
worked with
had-
Sharpton?
Well, yeah, I've worked very closely with Sharpton. I'm originally from Sharpton before I was recruited by Valen, and, well, I don't get along well with many of the Valen folk, even though I'm a fighter through and through. They just preferred to station me here.
They find a difference between a physical prowess and power. Right, there is a difference. I myself would not be much in a fist fight, but in an actual fight. And I don't feel that they value that as much as they should.
What were you asking, Bart?
I was just saying, I think I know a guy, or I had a discussion with someone once about a similar plan, but using necromancy.
Well,
recycling the dead for labor.
Well, unfortunately, there are certain religious factions that frown very greatly upon necromancy, even when it's done ethically. Oh, by the way, I don't know if all of you have your adventurers cards or not, but you can sign up on your adventurer card that your bodies, upon your death, can be utilized for necromantic arts ethically. So since you are consenting to your body being utilized by students, it's perfectly within limits and realms of research and possibility.
I'm not an adventurer. I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah, you're worse. You're a
Concept
lawyer.
That exists is terrifying. And also, when I die, I doubt there will be anything left to resurrect.
Fair enough. But... Yeah, something.
Out of character.
Yeah.
How wide is the range on the voodoo rat?
The what?
The voodoo rat. The skeleton. It was like you assemble a skeleton, touch it in a certain place, and then whoever you consider an enemy
It's
feels
annoyed
like
by it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
feels like a
Oh.
headache if you touch the head.
You guys were doing that to me for a
Like a-
while.
Within
The student,
within
yeah.
sight
Yeah.
and within 120 feet.
All the half orc gets to pass.
But yeah, so animatronic labor. Actually, I have one with me, and he whistles loudly, and you see this ball rolls up towards him, completely made out of metal.
A robot?
Kind of. All right, smart. He snaps his finger, and it extends out from the ball, breaking out into this, like, 6-armed, all-taloned looking contraption creature.
That's fascinating.
Yep. And cut. He snaps his finger, and the chef moves aside as it goes over and starts cutting up food. See?
What is the
Systems.
mechanism of its movement?
Oh, there's gears and toils and things and such.
But its power source. Is it
Oh.
arcane?
The power source is arcane in nature, but was incredibly complicated for me to put together. I haven't exactly mastered how to replicate it indefinitely. I can only make about 2 or 3 of them. It takes a tremendous amount of magic and labor to do, but
I could imagine so.
eventually I'll be able to mass produce this. And if we can do that, all of the laborious jobs out there that don't require incredible skill will be covered by these creatures.
As long as there is provisions to be made that it isn't the only source of work for those people, right?
Book 9 pulls out one of the books that he pulled and hands it over to you.
Titled Universal Living Wage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. In the event that these contraptions would take, and all of this is like proposed law, it's not enforced yet.
What's the book that says nuke Mars? What's going on here?
Don't trust it. But yeah, in the event that any of these animatronic workers will take an individual's job, the individual will be given the option of either 1 year's worth of living wages in order to find their own passions and goals at what they wish to do, or they will be given the opportunity for full training at the cost of the city itself into a more skill-intensive job.
That
I
is
like it.
something I like.
I have decided what I would like to do with our time going forward, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
We must search for a viable magical power source for these creatures.
No
And
more
here-
labor. No more labor.
And here I was thinking
We will
going...
create the perfect communist utopia.
Red flag just bellows in the
We'll be alright.
background.
The International.
Proximado.
Somebody's just going to say, and here I thought we were going back to liberate more lands.
We are. Liberate them of the sweat of manual labor.
Bart, I am officially revoking your drinking.
Looks off into the distant communistly.
Reese is gonna pass him more drink.
Somebody's
drinking.
hand is going to extend and just like grab the sake bottle he's hooked.
You're gonna see a mage hand come around and hand him another.
And
Crocodile.
you want to know the best thing about these creatures?
Hmm.
All of these tomes were written by him.
Look at the robot.
Also, as a scribe.
Well, it can write any of the words that I have pre-taught to it to be able to write. It memorizes everything I ever tell it, though it can't talk, which I think is a phenomenal feature. It can't feel, also a phenomenal feature. It does not have a soul, a phenomenal feature.
Especially if
double-
it's made
have
to do labor.
Have you considered using souls to reduce the power burden?
No, and I will not.
I mean, how
I
bad
could
are you
supply
looking
you
for?
with a near infinite supply of magical oozes.
I
Please
mean,
tell me you're not trying to actually, like, bring him to this realm.
God, no. Jesus, fuck. I'm doing everything I can to get away from this shit.
All right, good. Because that was one of the deal breakers. 5 out of the 7 of us on the council were all like, if we find out you're doing that, we're gonna have to exact revenge and murder you. You know, like.
et cetera. They
Who
can
was
certainly try.
for that? Santi says.
Well, there's only 2, and they're all private votes.
And one of
I
those
mean-
votes is, I'm sure, currently dead.
Oh no, he was completely against it.
Anything
Would
to
you
kill
s-
any of us.
Would you say for your process you would need more fortune or more glory to make it better?
Fortune.
What if I could tell you I can offer you a deal that will provide
Both of you
fortune?
stop. I'm sure that he has the capacity to find a power source on his own without having to turn to interplanetary deities.
I mean,
Interplanar, I
yes,
should say.
yes and no. I still would need to find a source of original power to be able to mass produce this, but a source that large would have had to have come up before the veil. So, you know.
So the we're talking what, few hundred years ago?
1,000. That's when the veil
So-
came up, at least, you know.
Right. And so it'd be a source of power older than that.
A source of power that originated back then that is in its raw emanating form that can just be filtered and produced where I see fit. I mean, the other option, which is why I knew your armor was primordial, was some people suggested that we could use elemental infusion and powers in order to create these power sources, like water elementals, air elementals, fire elementals. But considering my research dictated that elementals do, in fact, have consciousness, that would not be ethical. So,
Oh, I know.
It was actually a
I would-
situation that we ran into that fire elementals were being enslaved to create as part of a forge itself, and that was unfortunate to see.
You want to hear about this one fire elemental that got sent to the plane of water?
Is there a more
So-
horrific end?
Santi is smiling so much.
You concern me.
That was actually Tal'Dorei that did that.
You concern me. Wait, what?
I should.
Tal'Dorei, one of the saviors of Casino, did that.
Hmm. I can't remember exactly what the elemental did to piss him off so much, but
He was a traitor. He was
I
working
mean, yeah,
for, I believe, the dragon on the elemental plane.
He was the one
Ah,
bringing
that's
over
it.
the elementals to feed the fire.
Right.
Yeah,
he was
that's it.
an
There was some-
enslaver.
yeah,
Oh.
some dragon trying to cause an upstart. Did we kill that dragon? I forget.
I think he did.
No, I
Lovely.
don't believe anyone has. I think
We
that it
should
would even be a
probably do
difficult
something.
fight for Tawahaj.
Oh no, I spoke to
We could
Tal'Dorei. He
definitely
said
do
the
that
fucker.
now.
I spoke to him. He said the fucker disappeared. And air quotes disappeared.
Yeah.
But yes, anything I say and do should be a bit of a concern.
100%. But just in case you do want to go back and make a deal, and I hand him my card, it's there. You don't have to take it,
No, thank you.
but it's there.
But also,
I can
if
use it as a
happen-
bookmark.
If I happen across anything, I will let you know.
Good, thank you. Well, it is getting very late, my friends.
Yes.
I am very appreciative that you guys came through and conversed with us, and I hope we've earned at least a little bit of your trust.
It was either that or be served a warrant.
And of course, well, I mean, you know,
Subpoenaed.
there's a due process.
We were subpoenaed.
But, of course, if you sniff out that any of our council members, even in the future, are corrupt, bring it to our attention so we can deal
Without
with
their
it.
hearts.
Well,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, just poison them at their own dinner table.
That too.
well, that was that particular threefold member's method.
I hit him with my elbow because he's in a
The Iron
public
Chef.
place.
There is, and I agree. I think that if there is anything that any of us find, the one thing that you can trust about the rest of us is that we will have, it will be known. It's not something we will let slide.
Feel free to bring it to my attention. I am more than happy to fuck shit up if it needs to be.
You're one sending away. I understand.
Oh,
At least somebody likes to do something.
I just find it so hard to trust now. I want to, but I just don't know if I can.
Oh, go drink some more, you melodrama.
what if I gave you, like, there's a really nice brothel in town?
Don't trust him with those anymore. He did something horrible.
He's been going to a lot. You've been going to brothels quite a bit, by the way, Bartikov. I've been kind of concerned.
Since when?
He has Mama Lakudra. He doesn't need a brothel.
You're right. I'm not concerned.
You know what? He pulls out his, like, sending Rolodex. Like, yeah, okay, fine.
It was fun.
All right.
And my imp is always there, and I do check in with him regularly. So if you do go to my shop and I'm not there, just leave a message with the imp at the desk.
Very good. Hey, thank you for the food very much, sir. And he'll reach into his pocket and pull out a stack of platinum and just put it there. Whatever they end up eating, just add it to my going tab, okay?
Do we want to take this conversation back to my manor, or did you guys want to stay here for the night?
Depends on how private it can be.
I mean,
I'm sure our discussions about what we do next will need to be, there might be some sensitive topics.
okay. So probably the manor might be the best place. Unless you guys, again, wanted to spend the night in. I'm not against that either. I'm looking at Bart. So I know that you were here the last I checked. I don't know if you still need to be here.
I don't think so. I think I got everything that I needed. And quite honestly, I don't have really the money to be spending on fancy accommodation if your hospitality is still available to us. So
You guys have been living 4 or 5 months rent free. I'm not gonna start charging you guys rent now.
squatters'
you guys don't-
rights.
As long as you guys aren't like bringing any more bad reputation to my establishment. Looking at Bart.
We are the cops now.
Not cop. But
I know cops. That makes sense.
We are
Peacekeeper.
sorry. We are the FBI now.
The peacekeepers.
The peacekeeper. I heard FBI.
Anyone else here CIA? I heard KGB.
Okay. I'll teleport us to our manor then. Or
Alrighty.
to my manor.
Your man.
I'm gonna put my hands together and you guys smell sulfur really bad and you guys turn into like smoke and you guys just reappear as smoke.
It's a very spine-chilling experience for those of you that have not been smoked before.
Mhm.
Bart, you've been the center of many a fireball, so.
That's true.
So, you all reappear inside the manor, and I think this is where we're calling the session this week, and hopefully next week when everybody is here, and also during the down week, you guys can decide exactly the next direction you all wish to go and pursue. Players, thank you all very much for playing. Viewers, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.